In the journey of your baby's first year of life, you'll witness astonishing growth and development. But how, as parents, do we know the baby is on track with these critical developmental achievements? In the traditional medical world, these milestones serve as markers for tracking a child's growth and identifying potential patterns or concerns at an early stage of life. But with no two babies being exactly alike, many babies don't reach milestones at certain months or when compared to others. If this is a question you commonly ask yourself, you're not alone. So many parents want to make sure their babies are eating, sleeping, pooping, moving, and how much they should and when. Plus, these milestones are progressing to bigger accomplishments in speech, socialization, behavior, and learning as well. So, mom and dad, this video is for you to use as a roadmap to help ease any worries, to know what to look for, how and when, and not feel overwhelmed in how your baby is growing and developing, especially as a first-time parent. Second time around and beyond, parents, we know these kids basically bounce compared to the first, right? Spoon ends up on the floor, wipe it off in the pants, they're good to go. The most important thing we can share with you in this video is something you will absolutely not hear or have explained to you in a traditional pediatrician's office, and that is this. The order in which your child goes through these milestones matters so far more than when they achieve them. Meaning, it's more troublesome for a child to skip a stage of development or miss a milestone altogether than it is to be slightly delayed. For example, skipping crawling is more troublesome and problematic to their overall brain and neurological development than being a couple months late in talking, walking, and so forth. Excuse me. A story that matches this perfectly is the story of Isla. And after Isla was born, it became apparent that she had a side preference, always turning her head to the left while also struggling with movement. She had trouble lifting her chin from her chest and experienced challenges when eating as a newborn. This resulted in a flat spot on one side of her head, and Isla's parents were determined to seek help for her, but felt overwhelmed by the numerous appointments and lack of clear guidance that they received. So at the age of 2 months, they took her to a physical therapist to address her torticollis, who recommended a helmet. However, they soon realized that physical therapy wasn't effectively improving her range of motion and realized the helmet would only provide a temporary solution without addressing the underlying root causes that were affecting her movement. So after researching natural care remedy options for torticollis and what's termed plagiocephaly, Isla's parents decided to finally give neurologically focused chiropractic care a try. And although this story may be boring, you can kind of guess the ending. Isla's movement returned to normal, perfect range of motion, meaning no more flat head, and now she's thriving. Way to go, Isla. So when discussing baby milestones, it's really best to simplify and lay it out in 2 phases. And as mentioned above, we are more concerned with the order in which these milestones and developmental stages happen and how well they are linked or coordinated together. Looking at things on the calendar and by age helps us become aware of potential challenges or developmental delays, but it really does nothing to help us understand the root cause of that potential problem or develop an action plan to help you get your baby back on track. So, phase 1 is the foundation of development for your precious newborn baby. It includes eating, which is at a newborn stage is latching, swallowing, and digesting. Sleeping, which is soothing and calming as well. Pooping, which is motility and absorption of the nutrients. And then moving, which is motor milestones, head and neck control, sitting up, rolling over, crawling, walking, running, jumping, you get it. Phase 2 is considered the finishings. And in this phase is where more of the advanced and complex big brain and neurological functions come into play. It consists of speech and communication, socialization, play, behavior and emotional regulation, cognition, learning, language, all those things. Before these more advanced brain and neurological functions that are essential for a child's success in social and school situations can develop and function properly, the foundational basics must be fully developed and healthy. The bottom of the pyramid has to be set before the top can grow. Therefore, if your child still struggles with sleep, constipation, or immune health, they will likely continue to stay stuck and delayed in their social, their speech, their cognitive development as well. So, what are the most important signs to look for that cause delayed milestone development? With significant transformations happening quickly, it is helpful to keep an eye on important baby milestones, but it is not the end-all and be-all. As we started with, the most important component of optimal brain and neurological development in babies is not when they reach a milestone as much as it is in what order or sequence they reach those milestones. it is more beneficial to closely monitor the following key signs in your baby, as they may indicate as a softer sign that a baby's nervous system is working too hard or at risk of falling behind developmentally. So things that we see commonly in the office: frequent stiffening, arching, head and neck cranking, excessive crying, difficulty standing or inability to sit or stand independently by about 12 months. That's one of the only times that we care about when. Skipping crawling altogether or quickly moving from crawling to standing with a stiff and tense posture, persistent struggles with sleep, digestion, and immune function, or excessive crying, distress, reduced eye contact, smiling, interaction, babbling, imitating sounds. All of those are normal baby developments, and when we're missing those are soft signs that something's not on track. So where do these challenges all come from? The number one factor that we see over and over again that contributes to missed baby milestones is birth trauma. Trust me on this one. This affects crucial brainstem and cerebellum regions, and they're wildly important and they have a wildly important role in the developmental milestones. Birth is traumatic for your baby for numerous reasons, including the baby's position in utero, the duration of the birth process, or even birth interventions, C-section, vacuum, forceps. These all cause high levels of physical tension on the delicate tissues of the brainstem and the upper neck, which house the vagus nerve and are responsible for autonomic nervous system regulation and autonomic nervous system function. Also for motor tone, coordination, responsible for immune and digestive function, and so much more. The impact of these various physical stressors on a developing infant's nerves and muscles in the head, the neck, upper torso is significant. This leads to subluxation, which is often the most underestimated and overlooked aspect when considering developmental delays and neurodevelopmental challenges in babies and children later on in life as well. Subluxation simply means stress stuck on. So if your baby is displaying signs of colic, reflux, constipation, or is having difficulty sleeping, eating, these are all indications that there is subluxation affecting your baby's nervous system. Again, stress stuck in the on position. When your baby's nervous system is subluxated and they are in a sympathetic, which is a dominant fight or flight pathway, that stops and limits development and milestone progression. This neurological imbalance is known as its own condition called dysautonomia, and as renowned cellular biologist and leading epigenetic researcher Dr. Bruce Lipton perfectly states, you can't be in growth and protection at the same time. So if your baby is stuck in sympathetic fight or flight mode, they can't also be in growth and developmental mode, which is by far the more dominant mode your baby is supposed to be in and stay in for quite a while through development. So, how can chiropractic help? It all starts with finding out to what degree and where precisely within your baby's nervous system their tension and subluxations lie. Typically, with birth trauma, it's usually up top, but that's not always the case. We always start with an in-depth case history and examination of your baby, and also utilize incredible technologies called the Insight Nervous System scans. These scans take only minutes to use, are entirely safe, non-invasive, and help find exactly where those areas of altered tone and tension are. Baby milestones can involve so much, and the rapidly developing brain and nervous system are quite intricate systems, so helping babies early gives them the right sequence and momentum to grow on from an early stage. So questions, comments, anything, please send us a direct message, email, comment, whatever. All right, if this information helps you, please share it with other mom groups, families, brother, sister, coworkers. We know if there's one of you out there, there's thousands that are experiencing the same thing. And last, if this rings true to home, get on the phone, give us a call, get your baby scanned right away. We'd love to help.